So think about it this way. You're around a table. You're having a meeting with the directors of a business, right? And two of you get along really well, and these two get along really well, but there's conflict between some, and one of them is just an outcast. Nobody likes him at all. And right, so you got this dynamic. Well, that's your social infrastructure. Now, you start to share ideas. You've got a problem, we need a solution. We've got a new market we want to enter, we need a way of doing that. And we start to have a dialogue. And there's just not a lot of trust in the room. In that space, people are going to find it very difficult to share themselves into the room, to share their best ideas, to share their ideas that might be a little bit wacky, but if combined with your wacky idea, we could actually probably build something that might be amazing. That room's not going to foster that kind of conversation. But when we actually have each other's backs, we know who we are, we understand how you create value and how I create value. When vulnerability has been accomplished that's appropriate to the context, ideas start flowing. You have these kind of conversations that are kind of messy and conflicts might emerge, but you can resolve them and find value there. And all of a sudden you get a solution out of that kind of room that's completely different and better. And we know that. That's social infrastructure, and social infrastructure produces better outcomes, but it requires the human to show up really well in their voice. And I just think that's what I mean by you are the product.
Right.
Now, if we take the product language away from it, I would push it far enough to say the means of production, which is an economic term for how is value being created? What are the mechanisms that are required in order to create value? And we know that in the past, it was capital and factories and equipment, things like that. You had to have, raw materials, right? You get that stuff put together, you get to win. And in today's world, it's different. It is increasingly about the people that you have, the who that shows up into a room, and then the how they're showing up matters tremendously in the creation of value. So I would say if you want to expand or sort of tighten up maybe the language around you or the product, I'd say you are the means of production. And again, it's not true for everybody, but it is increasingly true.